Okay, a real heavy duty matchup in the vampire realm. And I think this is a nice one, man. We have Drake, who is the vampire progenitor we saw in Blade Trinity, right? Like the start of all vampires comes from this guy. And the next guy is Dracula, the version we saw in Dracula Untold. Very recent movies. Let's compare their styles and see what we get with the matchup between these guys. You have two very interesting and unique vampires in a lot of ways. Now, Drake is said to be the original vampire and possesses incredible strength, speed, and durability far beyond standard vampires. He can shapeshift into monsters, demonic form, and amplify his powers even further. He's immune to most traditional vampire weaknesses like sunlight or silver, making him one of the hardest vampires to kill. And he's a very skilled warrior with centuries of battle experience. He is susceptible, however, we saw, to some more modern weapons, and we'll talk about those as we get into this matchup. Now, Dracula, as we saw in Dracula Untold, is another very powerful vampire who gets his powers from the master vampire. So kind of, he's kind of a little further down the line. But this essentially made him a demigod. He has near godlike speed, strength, and regeneration, far surpassing normal vampires. He's the master of bat manipulation, summoning massive swarms for offense and defense. His combat abilities are enhanced by centuries of experience. Remember, his version, he is Vlad the Impaler. He is virtually unstoppable in darkness and cover of night and has bloodlust that fuels his attacks even further. Sunlight and silver are still dangerous, but his regeneration can help mitigate some of these effects. Now, he has to rely on a balance because if he goes into a bloodlust, he loses himself. But let's just look at this fight, man. Like, on terms of real, just raw power, man, I think Dracula Untold, Vlad, has an edge here. He's got sheer destructive abilities, like summoning swarms of bats. He single-handedly leveled a whole army by himself. This is far beyond anything that Drake will be able to do. And his regeneration is superior as well. Combat skills, man, it's a much closer battle. Like Vlad is a field general and warlord, so we gotta respect that. But Drake is brutal and very efficient. He's got a high skill with the blade as well. In terms of durability, man, Drake's durability gives him a slight edge in some arenas, especially if sunlight likes to creep on him. This X factor is really gonna be like where this takes place at. Like overall, under one-on-one conditions, under neutral settings, Dracula Untold, this Vlad wins this fight 7 out of 10 times. He's just far superior with some of his supernatural abilities that Drake can't counter for and can't come up with it. There are some scenarios under which I think Drake could win, but those are much smaller and require some very specific settings and some weapons I think he would need. Let me know what your thoughts are on this one in the comment section.